Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Andreas Bank That Radio Show. In news here lately, we have Rod Wave. If you don't know who Rod Wave is, he's an artist that was signed, a rapper. I can't remember which label he was signed to, but he was signed to a major label, and he has had some single success as well. He's been in the news here lately, October, twice already. One from a $27 million lawsuit filed after canceling tour dates by Grizzly, Grizzly Entertainment, I believe. It's a touring company that forked over a lot of money. They said it looks like it's boiled down to cold hard cash. Grizzly locked in at $40.25 million guaranteed for the full 35 show dates and shelled out more than $57 million in total, including a hefty $20.1 million advance to get the ball rolling. They pulled out 26 gigs shows, raking in around $29.9 million at the gates. But those 9 shows, that's what Grizzlies calling a $27.2 million hole that they won't field. Now, Rod is went on to say has been stated by him and his team that they had injuries, ankle, stuff like that, why they couldn't be able to do those particular shows. And it's also been reported that when those particular shows, those 9 shows that are in question, were trying to get rescheduled, that the touring company kept trying to reschedule at the inconvenience of the artists. So we're going to see how that plays out. But that was reported here early in October and late September 29th in a federal court down in Florida's Middle District Journey. The other news is that he went on Joe Budden's podcast and he went from how he grew his merch from 20K to 14 by owning his own brand. And the Joe Budden podcast, he had claimed from the clip that him and his uncle, they took more control back because the uncle was like, man, we could do all this. You just got to get people to, print it up here, get these people to ship it and, get it going. Which is a great success story in itself. I like to point out the fact that, he's had millions of dollars poured into his brand, though. That's why he's able to garner that amount of money. If you're an independent artist trying to really put yourself out there and get that type of money, you're not going to get that type of money in gross revenue sales because you have not established a huge core following and fan base. Now, he didn't break it down as far as what he has as far as net. Those are gross, I imagine, sales. Of course, you got operating control costs and, things that it takes to get to that $14 million. Let's just say that, of the 14 and this was done, let's say this was done within a year's time. That's over $1.1 and $1.2 million a month. And you're probably I would say with it being merchandise, in the different businesses that I've done when it comes to profit margins like that, you can easily net, $10 million and $4 million be operating costs because you're doing it at a vast level, and you could probably even get it cheaper. You can get probably like 12 million, depending on what your sources are. The thing I take away from both of these stories is that I hope that, he works out this lawsuit for canceling tour dates, because he did admit that, there are 9 shows that he did not do. Ultimately, the fans lose out. And also whoever promoted the show, whoever took, that risk to be able to do that. Now, my question is also, where is, the insurance for these claims? I don't know if the insurance is shelling out $27 million. But you also have insurance for things like that, for when, artists cannot make it to these particular shows that they promised that they would, they signed a contract and they would show up to. So we're going to see. He also has a redemption experience tour that kicks off December 25 and it goes into early January 2026. I think it's like 7 or 8 dates, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 dates, December 17th, 11th, 16th, 19th, 23rd, 28th, and January 2nd. This goes from Los Angeles, Fort Worth, Texas, all the way to Miami, Florida as the January 2nd date. Trying to figure out, who gets those dates too. Because if I'm Grizzly, I'm trying to figure out how you still going on tour these days when you owe us money. But, hey, however they're working it out, they're working it out. Success to the clothing line and him being able to take that. Hope he doesn't spend it all in one place because you still got to fight this $27 million lawsuit. And for that amount of money, and for them to, prove that he already missed shows and stuff like that, I don't think he's going to walk away from that scot-free. I don't think all charges will be dismissed. I mean, not all charges, but I don't think the lawsuit will be dismissed in its entirely. I do think he will have to pay some type of damages. So hopefully you can save the money from your brand, keep selling clothes and things of that nature to be able to cover any deficit that the lawsuit will create. So yeah, thank y'all for always tuning in for the interviews that I do. If you like to support all these small businesses and small local and independent artists that I put on the show, you can do so by clicking on the Buy Me a Coffee link and making a donation. Got more interviews coming out soon. I actually got a whole slew of them, about 25 interviews that's going to be dropping. So stay tuned to the Facebook page, the Instagram page, the YouTube. You can also hear all the interviews, audio, on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you listen to podcasts.